It's our In Focus session for this, and once more, it's bonsoir et bienvenue à Pierre, who's joining us from France, and he's going to enlighten us with his review of the Asus Zen Fone 6. Over to you, Pierre.
Okay, so quick summary of the device itself. The Zen Fone 6, it is yesterday's wine in Asus's portfolio of phones. It was released in May 2019. And I was very interested by this phone because it was relatively affordable. It was for me it was euro 550 for the 6 GB RAMs, 128 GB storage variant. And this phone has a lot of features. So on the right there is the from bottom to top there is the power button, the volume rocker, and a nice little add-on called the smart key. Nothing really at the top of the phone. There is the tiny cutout for the earpiece. It's so tiny you could almost believe it's under the screen, but it is not. And there is the camera. What was also quite innovative about this phone is it had that the camera module would flip when switching to front camera, and you would have the same on the bottom and at the top. There are probably microphones and stuff also at the top. At the left, there is the proper triple slot, 2 SIMs and micro SD cards all at the same time. You can insert. And at the sorry, did I say it was at the bottom? It's on the left, and at the bottom there is the headphone jack, the USB-C port, and the loudspeaker. This phone has a stereo sound. It's not very good stereo because the earpiece lacks a bit in power compared to the main loudspeaker. So, other things of note, it has a pretty huge 5K mAh battery. Right now, it's rather common, especially in mid-range phones. But back in the mid of 2019, it was really above average. And so, what was also interesting with this phone is that Asus came with that new UI, their new version of Zen UI, which was Zen UI 6. Their skin on top of Android Pie. At the time, it was much cleaner than it used to be. And right now we are on Zen UI 7 on top of Android 11. So let's begin though.
7:05 p.m. Free.
The lock screen here, I believe, is nothing particular.
Google. Wire headphones. Rewind 10 seconds. Play. Skip. Collapse. Talk to your assistant on it.
Yeah, I have some media control editor.
Expand. Collapse. Expand. Button. Double collapse. Google. Selected. Headset connected. Bluetooth active. Wi-Fi date. Phone 4 box. Battery 54. Asus right bottom camera. 7:05. Saturday, February 20. 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Unlock. Waiting for fingerprint.
Quite interestingly enough, I believe activates when you put the weather widget in your home screen. On the lock screen, you get the temperature. So let's take a look at the UI.
Device unlocked. 7:06 p.m.
So starting with the default launcher, you won't be too surprised. It's pretty much like stock. You swipe up with 2 fingers.
Apps list. Search for an app.
Get the apps list. You swipe down, you get notifications and so. And on the right, perhaps it's supposed to be on the left, but you get the Google Discover feed.
File Manager. Drive. Double tap to activate. Double tap and hold to lock.
It wouldn't exit the app list for some reason. So the installed, as far as installed app goes, it's pretty clean. However, there are Facebook, Instagram, and all of them can be uninstalled. But then you also have to disable Facebook services, either the normal way or via ADB, if you really want to get rid of all of it. And then it's rather clean. There are a few Asus apps. There's data transfer, which can be useful when switching phones, which you can uninstall too. So of note is the messaging app, which is Google Messages by default. That's cool. So the Asus launcher, quite frankly, you might want to replace because
WhatsApp, Get It, Lookout, My App, ADT UFC widget, Apps List, Messages, Apps List.
The apps list.
Double tap to activate. Actions available. You swipe up then right to view.
As you sort of heard, you can no longer long press the apps list to access features from the launcher.
Alert actions, wallpapers, in list.
And using talkback actions would
Widgets. Double settings. Cancel button up.
Would give, of course, widget settings and all. But
Asus launcher. Home free of free. My apps. Home. Double tap to activate.
But to access some other features, you would have to long press an empty area, which you can't do when talkback is on. So let's do it. There.
Tap back on. Asus wallpapers. Widgets. Wallpaper. Apps list. Wallpaper. Widgets. Edit home screen. Preferences. Edit home screen.
So there's edit home screens. I find it kind of clunky. Let's see what there is.
Subscriptions. Out of internet. Camera. Mute. Slack. Scroll effects. In list. Apps list. Out of list. Scroll. Icon label color. Folder theme. Double tap to activate.
So yes, there is that, but I'm not sure how you even add a home page. So yeah, quite frankly, I have a satisfactory setup, but you might want to switch the default launcher.
Home screen to agree.
One thing of note, I guess I could show is the dialer.
Phone. Double tap to activate. Double tap and hold off. Phone.
It is pretty good.
Dial. Clear tape. Selected. Recent. Double contacts.
There are only two tabs, recents and contacts. If you go to contacts, you will see the favorites you put in the contacts app, and there's also speed dial, which is pretty cool because it means you will have to double tap outside of calls. We will have to double tap when dialing numbers, but there is speed dial, so that's cool.
Dial button. 0. Take. Double tap that.
And if you press a a number which doesn't have speed dial, which for which you didn't set it.
Alert speed dial. Do you want to assign this key for speed dial entry? Speed dial allows you to press and assign any quickly.
You can assign it like that. It's pretty straightforward. That's cool. And also it has a feature when you call a number such a vocal server or such, and you did enable the keypad and then hang up the call. Next time you call that number, it will automatically, when the call is answered, pop up the keypad for you. It's pretty cool. I'm not even sure Google's dialer has this. So yeah.
Cancel button.
We can set.
Double tap to activate.
For answering calls, I'm not sure how you do it. I don't believe it's swipe up. It's swipe right or left. But it doesn't matter too much in the grand scheme of things because
Search menu. Search. Voice search button. Show more button. More options.
if you go, for example, in settings,
Navigate. Settings. Call. Inlet. Volume key option for call. Volume key option. Voice secondary action. Show more button. More options.
yes, there's that button
Double tap and hold to long press.
at the upper right of the dialer which says show more.
Pop-up window. Delete call log. Enlist. Double tap to activate.
Delete call log.
Call recordings.
Call recordings.
Settings.
And then
Double tap
settings.
to activate. Settings. Navigate. Double tap to activate. Volume key option for call.
And then
Double
you
tap
go to call.
Call. Calling accounts. Enlist. Adherent advanced. Calling advanced.
Advanced.
Advanced. Phone touch fingerprint answering on switch.
There's
Double tap to
fingerprint
activate.
answering.
Auto answer.
And
Double
there's
tap to activate.
auto answer. So
Phone services. Auto answer. SIM 1. Enlist. SIM 2 not. SIM 1.
wow, you can
Double tap to
even
activate.
customize it for each SIM.
Auto answer. Auto answer. Answer calls automatically while using headset for Bluetooth earpieces. Heading enlist. Switch.
There's
Double
that.
wired headset auto answer. Disabled. Drop down list. 2 seconds. Switch. Drop down list. 2 seconds. Disabled. Bluetooth headset auto answer. Disabled. Drop down list. 2 seconds. Switch.
Good thing I did verify because apparently it's only if you, it can still be handy if you have headphones connected, you can set it to an auto answer and set how much time it takes, but there is fingerprint answering.
You know, actually, I think that fingerprint answering is a very good feature, Pierre, because I think that would come in very handy for a lot of people. You know, sometimes we see these other phones and, you know, I think the first thing that comes to mind is that, oh, you know, this phone is, maybe it has, you know, bloated stuff, and people say that all the time. But when you dig into these things, you find out that they have these great features that we don't have on the stock Android, like, you know, on the Pixel phones. And so really, I really like what I'm hearing with the Zen phone. I've always kind of wanted to get one, but I guess Moolah makes it run away from me. But this is absolutely beautiful. I would, you know, like we said,
probably
yesterday's wine.
availability.
Yeah. I'll wait till that yesterday's wine turned into, you know, several yesterday's wines away. Then I'm going to get one for sure to play with it. It's really great. I like that.
But actually, there's more in settings.
Privacy, permission, display, security, and accounts, advanced, assistant.
In advanced.
Mobile manager, AG, Twin apps, safeguard, Twin apps, AG.
There are many interesting
Mobile manager,
things.
on, smart key.
The smart
tap to activate.
There it is, the smart key.
Smart key. Tap smart key.
By default, is entirely dedicated to Google Assistant.
On, switch, 1, not check, radio button, Google Assistant, 2 of 4.
That's how it is by default, but you can also do
check, radio button, customization, 4 of 4.
Customization. Near the customization button, there is the settings button.
Customization, press once, press twice, press once.
So I won't tell everything this smart key can do. I just show what I how I set it myself. So press once.
Press 1. Sound mode 1 of 5.
Sound mode, so it will toggle between normal, vibrate, and silent. It's a substitute for my the alert slider I had on my old OnePlus. Pretty much, it's pretty cool to have.
Press twice. Wake up Google Assistant 2 of 5.
Press twice. I actually set it for the assistant.
Press and hold Wi-Fi 3 of 5.
And press and hold. I set it to click toggle Wi-Fi.
Answer call. Press to answer incoming calls on switch.
So, and there it is. You can, provided you stick with the default phone app, you can answer with fingerprint, but you can also answer with the smart key. And I was quite impressed. To learn that, but it works even with Google Duo. I'd say I would try it. I didn't expect much things, and for sure it worked. Doesn't work on WhatsApp, for example, but it does work with Duo. And I guess even if you switch to Google's dialer, it may work too.
Snooze alarm. Press the snooze alarm.
You could also snooze alarms that way.
Navigate up.
But why there's more?
Smart key. BTN settings. Navigate up. Advanced. Gestures. Heading. Gestures. Double tap to activate.
In the gestures, there are many interesting things also. And settings, advanced, and then gestures.
Gestures. Lift the check phone. 1 of 16. In list. 16 items. Lift the check phone. Switch.
Lift to check. So it will. So we have this on Pixels 2, I believe. You lift the phone and it wakes up.
WhatsApp notification. 7. Fingerprint gesture. Lift the check phone. 1. Lift fingerprint gesture. 2 of 16.
Fingerprint gesture. It has its own menu, but it's just that one feature from stock Android where you swipe down on the fingerprint scanner and it will open the notification shade. It's still pretty cool. I use it quite often, and I'm going to miss it probably if I switch to an in-display scanner, even though there is some kind of workaround in Android 12 apparently.
Motion gesture, disable, heading. Flip down to mute, turn the device face down to mute incoming call, 4 of 16.
Flip down to mute, there it is.
Flip down, hands up, lift the device to your ear to answer calls automatically, 5 of 16.
And there it is again, lift the device to your ear to answer calls. This phone has the master combo, smart key, fingerprint, auto answer if you have a headset connected, and put your ear to answer the call. Wow, it's quite impressive. And I mean, I could show everything else. Double tap to suspend. Double tap to wake up.
Swipe up to wake up. Swipe up on the screen to wake up your device from idle mode. 9 of 16. Swipe up to wake up.
Swipe up to wake up.
Gestures on dark screen. Disable. Heading.
And there it is. You are probably familiar with that if you have a OnePlus or an Oppo or probably any BBK brand. There is screen of gestures where you draw letters and it will instantly open apps. You would have to unlock the phone after that in some cases, but there it is. So in some case, for example, you want to call somebody and you can be probably as fast as with using your voice. You can, for example, by default is V for the phone app. You draw a V, you unlock the phone, you quickly double tap and long press a number, and there it is. So there are some cool features really. So those are pretty much the cool features I wanted to show off. I can, I guess, show a few, besides what there is on the launcher, a few unintuitive things as far as accessibility goes.
Flip to check phone. 1 of 6. Navigate up.
For example, going to battery, I'm going to try and
Mobile manager. Smart key. Double tap back button. Settings. Privacy. Permit. Display. Battery. Battery. 52% about 1 day. Battery.
So many Zen UI features, and Zen UI 7 added some things, some new things about it. There are many interesting things when it comes to battery care and stuff. You can do so that it will only from the scheduled charging. You will choose a schedule from say, for example, 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. And if you charge the phone, it will do so that it only reach 100% when at 6 a.m. I believe it is, from what I tested, it is even alarm sensitive. I'm not sure because it's not mentioned, but it seems to be, and that's pretty cool. What is unintuitive, I will try to find it.
Battery care. Slow charge on. Battery care. Slow charging. Scheduled charging. Charging limit.
There it is, battery care.
Battery care. Battery care is multi-page view. Recommended action. Slow charging. Charge battery at a slow and steady pace to protect battery. Double tap off. Switch. Get off. Switch. Double tap to
You
toggle.
can disable fast charging altogether. I didn't activate that,
Scheduled charging 3 p.m. to 12 a.m. Off. Switch.
but there it is.
Select charging limit. 80%. 90%.
So yeah, you have those charging limits, and there is 80%, 90%, but you can tap those options.
100. 0%. Seat control. Use volume gauge
Instead,
adjust.
you have that potentiometer where 0% is 80%,
50%.
50% is 90%,
100%.
and 100% is 100%. So you understand it eventually, but it's a bit counterintuitive.
This is really good. So, I think what we're going to do
Yes,
is you could record a total review of this phone because
7:33
it
p.m.
has a lot of things that actually I think we could just like feature that on its own on a podcast, like, review of the Zen Fone, because this is not a phone that many people are familiar with. And I really like the that button that you are showing there, how you could customize it to do so many things. And I think if you have time, Pierre, maybe just record a real overview of this phone, because I would love to publish that. What do you guys think? I really like the phone.
Me too, Warren. I like all the different call answering options. OnePlus has got a couple of those. Samsung has the hardware button. I haven't seen one with all of them in one though. So I really like that. And I like the sound of the file manager too, where you can transfer files via IP addresses. That sounds really neat. What do other guys think?
Yeah, I like it's nice to see a phone that's using something different from stock Android, and some of the extra features that they put in there, which makes it a unique phone.
And particularly about the fact that he talked about the battery thing, that was a feature drop in one of the Pixel, monthly security updates, and that right now is only on like the Pixel 4a 5G and the Pixel 5, whereby you could plug it in at 9, but it's a little bit.
It's on the OnePlus too. It's made it to Oxygen.
Oh, good. Because I really like that feature. You plug it in and go to bed and not worry about it. And by the time that, you wake up, it's just finishing the charge. So I like that.
I like it now. I know what it is. When I plugged it in, I woke up in the middle of the night. I was like, why isn't my phone charged? What's this fast charging all about? And then I had a look. I'm like, oh, right. It's meant to do that. It's a feature, not a bug.
But as if I understand correctly, the implementation on Pixel is kind of strange, because it only works according to a certain schedule. It wouldn't work if you work at night, for example. unless it has been improved, I don't know.
Oh, do you mean if you want to do that during the day because you work at night or something, and you plug it in at 10 a.m.?
Because it only works from I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's the same thing with the one on the Pixel Future Drop. It only works at
the
night.
one on
so
the Pixel.
it would be nice to customize that to one's choosing. So yeah, that's good. So guys, that's been
just something. If I can say something about the smart key, the problem is I'm not sure. If you buy a Zen Fone 7, for example, the smart key, fingerprint sensor, and power button have been merged into one thing. So the fact, and it can do more things on the Zen Fone 7. It can open any app and all, but given that it has been merged with the power button, which it is the power button, I don't know if you can encircle with the smart key or with fingerprint. I guess you could with fingerprint, but I don't know if you would have all the options you have on this phone.
Just two things, Warren. On the Zen Fone 6, this is indicative, but €550 is £476, 663 US dollars, 861 Australian dollars, 49,000 rupees. Take those with lashings of salt. They are exchange rates. They are not prices of the Zen Fone 6 in your markets. Obviously, a lot will affect that.